Thanks a lot, Patrick. That was a lovely raspberry duck. And here we are with Joanna Kanow from the Carbon Neutral Coalition. Thanks for being here today, Joanna.
Thank you very much for having me.
So before we get into the Carbon Neutral Coalition and how important it is for Telluride, tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get here? What are you doing? Where do you live? I know where you live, actually, but...
How did I get here? I got to Telluride in a vision. I always knew that I needed to live in a small mountain town.
Okay.
And I grew up in California. I went to UC Berkeley. I studied conservation resource studies there. And I felt that I needed to go into education, and that was the best way to make a change for the environment is by teaching children. So I got into education, outdoor education. And I eventually ended up in Telluride working in the schools. And I was an elementary school teacher, actually teaching Spanish, and did that for a few years. And then got into green building in the area. And I had a green building design studio, distributing green building materials to all the building that was going on at a fast rate in Telluride, hoping to offer alternative, sustainable building materials. And that went on for about 10 years. And it's really interesting to see it all coming full circle back to what I studied in college of conservation resource studies through the education, the green building, and now I'm working for the Carbon Neutral Coalition. I've been a life coach for the last few years, which is helping people get to their goal with accountability and planning, and so that's what I'm bringing to this group.
Wow.
That's formed and come together with the mission to reduce carbon emissions to make Telluride strive to carbon neutrality.
How do they find you? You sound like you have every prerequisite that you need to A, live in Telluride, and to be part of the Carbon Neutral Coalition.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I actually I've known Kim Wheels and Eco Action Partners for a long time, since they started. Being in the green building business, we had a lot to talk about over the years. And I saw her and I said, hey, what's going on? What are we doing in Telluride? I know that we've had goals and we've made initiatives and governments have said we are striving to reduce our carbon emissions and to reduce our carbon footprint, but what are we doing? I know I've seen Mountain Film last year with the New Normal initiative.
Yes, that's right.
Surface it again into the public eye, and this is a big uphill battle that we're fighting to reduce carbon emissions. And so I said, what are we doing? What are we doing differently? What are we doing now? I know we've been working on it. And she said, well, actually, a coalition has formed with the nonprofits, the governments, the utilities, citizens, concerned citizens, businesses, people, and now we're looking at it more as a coalition of how can we all get together and actually take great strides in making this happen here. And she goes, you want to lead it?
Oh, well, there you go.
And I said, absolutely. She's like, you can bring your skills of a life coach and helping strategic planning and accountability and just making progress month by month.
Yeah.
So I was hired on right there as the facilitator.
That's
and
great.
It's been a really great organization to work with, a bunch of really intellectual, motivated minds collaborating now, and the force is strong.
And so you're the perfect person then, obviously, to tell us like what it. We could guess the Carbon Neutral Coalition, and it obviously you had mentioned this too. I just wanted the viewers to know that it sort of came out of that Mountain Film New Normal, which was part of their festival last year, and a major eco initiative that they put forward. And so now, how is that transformed into the Carbon Neutral Coalition, and what are you guys looking to do for Telluride?
Yeah, exactly. Right. So it started with Mountain Film, the New Normal, in collaboration with the Pinhead Climate Institute, which is the environmental arm of the Pinhead Institute, and Eco Action Partners, who also works closely with SMPA.
Okay.
San Miguel Power Association, which is where we get our electricity from.
Yep.
And other members have joined this coalition to keep it moving and progress happening, such as all the governments, Mountain Village government and staff are involved, Telluride government and staff, the county,
So
and OFER.
everybody's sort of in on that.
Yeah,
And
everyone over the years have individually been trying to solve this problem of climate change. Now, this year, we are feeling it here in Telluride more than we ever have felt it
Yes,
before.
we are,
So that,
unfortunately.
in a way, is helping the urgency of we need to collaborate, we need to be a strong force, and we need to be getting this done soon. And how are we going to do it? So, so nonprofit
So how are we going to do it is the question.
Well, what's great is that everyone individually is working on it in their own way, and we're coming together. So there's a list of projects we're doing, as well as the nonprofits, the environmental groups, the governments, the utility. There's also concerned citizens and business owners, such as Adam Chambers. He's working with PCI, Pinhead Climate Institute. He's an EPA scientist, a climatologist, and he's going over the greenhouse gas emission inventory that Eco Action Partners has been tracking and analyzing for the last 10 years to see where we're at and how we can get down. So he's helping us formulate a drawdown, lowering of our carbon footprint with exact steps we can take. Also, PCI has a offset program that came to be through Mountain Film as well, helping to offset the energy that people are using when they travel here through flights, cars, and they can buy offsets through a ranch that they're doing carbon sequestration there.
Okay.
And Chris Arndt has started up a Members for Tri-State Reform initiative, where he's trying to get all members of who pay a meter to SMPA, which is a co-op, to demand Tri-State, where we get our electricity from, to bring in more renewable energy, hopefully 100% renewable energy to our region. And it's out there, the economics is there.
Can I ask you a quick question here? How do we? I guess my final question is because these are a lot of wide sweeping things. How do we as individuals sort of cut back? Are there some ways that the Carbon Neutral Coalition would suggest that we could do that individually within our own houses, other than just like living in Placerville and burning wood? Yeah, because you can't do that in Telluride anymore.
Right. So. Right. This effort needs to engage the whole community. Anyone who lives in a house here, there are lots of programs available through Eco Action Partners where you can come and get your house energy audit. Someone will help you walk through your house. There's income qualified weatherization programs. If you are in a lower income, there's all of these programs available to you to go as far as replacing appliances that are really draining energy in your house. So there's a green business program also. Any business here can get an audit and figure out what they can do at home. So yeah, if you're living in a building, if you're renting or owning, there are so many things you can do within your own house to make sure that you're not burning any more emissions.
Cool. Great. That's amazing. So we could go to Eco Action Partners, or can we go online and see the Carbon Neutral Coalition, or is that sort of part of the...
Yes, there's a Facebook page for the Carbon Neutral Coalition, and there's so many resources that you could see how you can get involved through Eco Action Partners, through Pinhead Climate Institute, through the Members for Tri-State Reform.
Great.
And we're going to continue. Thank you for the opportunity to let us get the message out that we need to get this whole community involved so we can reach our overarching goal of becoming a carbon neutral community and region here in Telluride.
Joanna, we're glad that you're here, and we hope that we can all make some sort of an impact, especially after the winter that we've had here.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks
for
for
having
being
me.
here.